Hi, my name is Zach Dahan, and this is my infographic on Switzerland. It is titled Switzerland by the Numbers. A short introduction of my country. Switzerland is in Europe. It's kind of sandwiched in between the middle of France, Germany, and Italy. And it's also one of the leaders in GDP per capita. This is partly the reason that I picked it. I also just think it's a really cool country. It's got some great landscapes, some great mountains, some great views. I hope to visit it someday. The four economic indicators that I have chosen are GDP, unemployment rate, CPI value, and residential house price index. So GDP, gross domestic product, is just one way to show um, the net production of a company, or sorry, of a country in a certain amount of time. The unemployment rate is the number of unemployed adults. The actual equation for it is number of unemployed over the labor force. So then the CPI, or the Consumer Price Index, is just the cost of the basket of goods that a typical family might spend. So this is for your typical household, what a typical budget might look like. And then the residential house price index is how much it costs for a single family to move. So, looking at the country's health before and after, we can look at the numbers here. So, for GDP, it was estimated to be around 189,910 million euros in quarter one of 2022, and it grew to 191,293 million euros in quarter one of 2023. In terms of health for Switzerland, it definitely got healthier. There was larger production, growth in production, I should say, for Switzerland. For the unemployment rate, there was a decrease. So this is another good sign for Switzerland, a sign of a healthy economy. It dropped from 2.32% to 1.90% from quarter one of 2022 to quarter one of 2023. The CPI value increased from 104.5 in quarter one to 106.3 in quarter one of 2023. So a year apart, there was a slight increase. This can be due to inflation. This can be due to better products. The fact that it increased by 1.75% is not terrible, given that inflation is usually a little bit higher than that. So this is not a terrible number. A lot of this can be attributed to inflation. Then the residential house price index in quarter one of 2022, it was at 189.5 points, and then it increased to 192.9 points of quarter one of 2023. And this percent change is not drastic. We can attribute this to inflation again. Nothing too crazy going on here. This is kind of expected. And then, as for the economic indicators and what's going to happen to them in the upcoming quarter and the numbers for Switzerland, according to different resources I found online, mainly the according to Swiss Info, the economy for Switzerland is going to slow down. The GDP will increase, but at a slower pace, and because it's the rate at which GDP increases is slowing down, that means that unemployment is going to be increasing. The CPI will increase, but not as drastically because there will also be lower inflation. And this is the same for the residential house price index. So the CPI and residential house price index will both increase, but at a slower rate. Unemployment rate will increase, which will cause GDP to still grow, but at a lower rate than what it has in previous years. And if I had to choose between neoclassical and Keynesian, I'd probably choose neoclassical as a government policy if I was a part of the Economic Advising Council for Switzerland, because I think it's better to think in the long run. And if a country tries to fix the economy by increasing government spending or imposing tax cuts, then they might be a little too late, as the economy might just fix itself in the time that they try to act on the economy's fluctuation. Thank you.